Welcome back to the Listen Out podcast, where we analyze a new album each week. I'm Jamie, and this week we've got me, Nick.
What up?
And Jordan.
Wiki, what?
This week we're going to be taking a look at Sound and Fury by Sturgill Simpson. It was released in 2019, and it was picked by Nick. Oh, also, a forenote, we are attempting to see each other in Discord this week, so we will try not to reference video that you can't see, but bear with us if it happens. It's an experience.
Man, you just got distracted by me putting on chapstick.
Oh,
we'll see how this goes. Yeah. So Nick, do you wanna tell us what made you choose this album?
Yes, I would love to elaborate. So, the past 2 or 3 album cycles that we've gone through, until like the day of, I haven't really been sure what album I want to choose. And I kind of wanted to choose a album that was hopeful almost, an album that almost in a way would rejuvenate myself after the election cycle last week. And
are you implying something, my man? Or like, no, just kidding.
No, because I was just scared. Last Tuesday.
I got you.
But just like whatever side of the political spectrum you're on, I think everyone can agree that there was potential for eruptions of violence, or just like it was a scary time to me, at least, just from looking at the news and things like that. So I wanted,
it was like a cold civil war.
Yeah, a little bit. I wanted at first to look up to listen to an album that would kind of just make me feel better in my life in general, and then I found this one, and it's not really the spirit that I was looking for at first, but it's an attitude that still pulled me out of the like darker place that I was in. So it still helped me in a way that I didn't anticipate. And it's an album that I've loved ever since it came out last year. I thought this album came out like 2 years ago, but it was last September. It's just a little over a year ago. And I don't know why I thought it came out so long ago, but the past 6 months have felt like 2 years. So that's probably has something
yeah.
It
came out late last year. It came out in September. Uh-huh. It came out like halfway through 306, because I remember when it came out, I was going to the lab to work on whatever project, and I was like, I'll throw this on. Mm-hmm. Nick said it was good. Soldered away. It may have been around the IoT. I don't remember.
It came out September 27th, 2019. So it was like midway through 306. Not quite IoT, I don't think.
Little did we know that Corona was on the horizon.
That our world is about to change.
I see it off in the distance. It's Corona! I'm just kidding.
What up?
Anyways, the album.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jordan, had you heard any of have you heard the name of Sturgill Simpson before?
I feel like maybe I couldn't tell you yes or no for sure, but
I think we've mentioned his name a few times on the podcast.
Maybe, yeah. My man Sturgill Simpson. But only time me and Nick went. Nick, you didn't mention this, but me and Nick went to the. I don't think. If I just forgot that I don't think you just mentioned this.
No, I didn't mention it. I think I know what you're going to say.
Me and Nick went vinyl record shopping after our podcast trip to Waffle House last week because there's a podcast, or not podcast, there's a vinyl record store right beside it. And Nick actually got this album on vinyl.
Yeah.
And so he was listening to it on vinyl all week.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw a couple of his other albums too there. But other than that, I don't think, other than just like the name sounding like I've heard it before and not actually knowing like where it fits to, I don't think I really heard of him before.
I gotcha.
Nice. Yeah, I had heard of his name, especially with is it a song or an album that's Turtles All the Way Down? I know it was the tour that he went on.
Yeah, that's
a John
song.
Green book, isn't it?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I think that was the
Did
first.
you say it's a John Green book?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It's, yeah.
I actually have it signed by John Green.
Oh, really?
Have you read it?
But no, Claire got it to me for me one time, and
but you didn't read it.
No, as much as I love her, I hate reading books. So,
Hey, functionally illiterate since 6th grade, right?
It's nothing personal to her. It's just I hate reading. So,
yeah.
One day I will read it though.
But I had back on Sturgill. That was where I first heard his name. Was whenever that kind of got big. It at least got big enough to where it showed up on my radar, but I never actually checked it out. I know Link from Rhett and Link has a concert tour shirt from there that I would see, and I'd be like, "No,
oh, cool.
Check out his stuff," and then I never did. So this was the first album of his that I actually listened to.
I got you.
Yeah, and I like it. This album's good. Mm-hmm. Jordan, what'd you think going into it? Me and Nick kind of debated a little bit what you would think, because this is it would probably most likely fall under cosmic country, which both of those are pretty far outside of your typical listening.
Mm-hmm. It sounded less country than I thought it was going to be, to where it almost didn't really sound that
most of the country only comes from the fact that he has a Kentuckian accent. Every now and then it comes through.
Yeah, and I was about to say, because a lot of the music,
some of the guitar rhythms in maybe a sing along, and I don't even know, sing along, the rhythm, the guitar tone to that makes it sound almost like some kind of boot stomping song to me, but there's so much synth and all kinds of just stuff layered in the album that it doesn't feel like country really. It feels like some kind of, I don't know, just weird.
Yeah, it really
experience.
Mm-hmm. It really doesn't sound like country at all.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds just way more like, I guess the first at the beginning of the album, I had a more funky-ish vibe a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
If that's okay to say.
Definitely.
I'd definitely say so, especially for the guitar intro on Ronin, kind of.
Yeah. What is cosmic? What sounds are associated with cosmic?
It kind of sounds kind of I don't know, spacey-ish kind of stuff.
Yeah,
it's a pretty loose term.
It's more a term that describes the feeling of a song rather than the specific instrumentation, I think. When I think of cosmic, I think of kind of repetitive rhythms and guitar or synth or piano or something that kind of drones out really long, and they might improvise one instrument and keep the rest of it pretty steady so that someone else can improvise over it. That's
you're right.
That's kind of an element of what, I don't know. It didn't I haven't listened to a lot of Grateful Dead, even though I feel like I would really enjoy them. But in concerts and videos of live music that I've seen where people do a lot of improvisation and make their music sound more cosmic or psychedelic, that seems like a theme. Is most people keep a steady rhythm while one person riffs and improvises off of it.
Yeah, I got you.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So what did you But I guess without getting, or I guess you can start to get specific if you'd like. What was your takeaway from the album? Was it better than you expected, Jordan?
I think it was a little better. I think whenever you guys tell me something's going to be kind of country, it just immediately drops to like a 0 rating, and then it can only go up from there. Mm-hmm. If it's
that's our plan. We tell you it's way worse than it is.
The further away from actual country it is, it started like going up. As soon as I listened to it, I was like, "Huh, there's not some slow strumming guitar in the background," and this is already 10 times better than I could have hoped for. Now I'm going to give it a 10 just because it's not Luke Combs.
We start to try to play like reverse psychology mind games with you about the ratings.
You bastards! You bastards. No, I thought it was. I thought it was better than I assumed it was going to be. Just because also Nick has a very unique taste in music, so
well, thank you.
Sometimes I'm like,
yeah,
sometimes
shitty.
I'm like, unique's a
freaking
a cover word. Unique's a cover word.
We have very similar music tastes.
It's like when a painting's bad and you're like, oh, it looks very nice. You know, it's like,
oh, how original.
Yes, how original.
How unique.
Nick has a very unique music.
Did a 4-year-old throw up on this painting?
So also I'm scared that's not. But no, it was a decent album. It was a decent album.
Cool. Yeah, I've always admired really the spirit behind all of Sturgill's work, basically, and the lyrics he throws into stuff that are kind of almost anti-country with like with some of his older albums. He has like deep country, like old country instrumentation, and this one is kind of a branch off from that with all the synth, like crazy, like psychedelic stuff that goes on. But like
there's a lot of synth on that.
Yeah, his first album, High Top Mountain, is really country, and then it's metamodern sounds and country music, and that one's pretty country too. And he kind of starts to branch off with his third album, A Sailor's Guide to Earth, and then there was this one, Sound and Fury, that was like, I'm pretty sure it was kind of a surprise release. He came out with like a Sing Along was the lead single. But I don't think there was much publicity for the album before it was really just like launched out there. And it came out with it came out with an anime like post-apocalyptic samurai short film.
I still haven't watched that.
Yeah, I haven't either. I meant to, and I just ran out of time over the weekend.
I think we were going to do that this weekend or something, and then we didn't.
Yeah, but we...
Yeah, I know I'm like far removed from his stuff, but I definitely hadn't heard like a single thing about this album until it was like, it's out.
Yeah, I definitely didn't hear anything either.
Really?
Listen,
I'm surprised. I really thought you kept up with Sturgill Simpson, Jordan.
Man, shut your mouth, boy.
When he recorded it with his touring band that I think he's become like really good friends with them, it seems, and like all the stuff that he posts. But his Instagram is very peculiar, and I think that's the only social media that he has. But he'll post stuff for like a week, and then he deletes those posts, and he posts like new stuff. Yeah, but he earlier
that's weird. That's suspicious.
About a month ago, he was posting old videos from the recording process of this album, and I'm not sure where I don't know if they all had their own equipment to just record the album, or if they got it from a studio or what, but they recorded the album in a motel in Michigan, maybe? Like they all just went to a motel for 2 weeks, like just like an old rundown motel that you would like see off the side of a highway, and like rented out a room for 2 weeks, put their equipment in there, and like recorded the album for 2 weeks.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they and Sturgill said that they'd like play into the night, and they'd walk out of their rooms at like 3 a.m. and see people like hanging over the rails like of the second floor, like just that had been listening to their music, and they'd see them like walk out of their room and they'd like start clapping for them and stuff because it was yeah, like
that's so sweet.
Yeah, because he said they would play it like super loud without any regard to like they were
damn, they just
like a crazy album. So
damn, they were just like,
yeah, that explains
go to this
why
motel and fuck up everybody's sleep schedule.
Yeah,
explains why the quality is. It sounds like shit.
It
doesn't sound like shit, but man, I am not a fan of some of the just like quality because it sounds like, honestly, I'm not surprised it was in like a small motel room.
Yeah,
because it's like, yeah,
his vocals are pretty rough and kind of washed out, and especially in Fastest Horse in Town.
Yeah, and I think that's like, if I had to think of a main detractor for why I don't like love this album, it's because of his vocals. I don't know. It's kind of the same thing I had when
interesting.
God, what was it? It was like Earthquake or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Earthquake? Do you like Earthquake because of that?
Well, I think that was when it was, but it was like I didn't like the vocals. Oh, it was Benjamin Booker's album too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like I liked everything about it except it just, I don't know, the like vocal tracking of it. I wasn't, because it doesn't sound like a live album. Because even a live album is clear.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but the vocals they get washed out a lot, but not in like a good way to me. I think if I had to think of like a main detractor for the album, that was like the thorn for me. Was, I don't know, I wasn't a huge fan of the like vocal quality of it.
Yeah.
Are you saying like his voice is bad?
No,
like,
it's not
you
that
don't like his voice
is bad,
or that
it's the way that his voice is recorded in the album and thrown into the mix. I wasn't a huge fan of
it. It does seem a little washed out by all of the,
it sounds like it's coming out of an FM radio, but like one that has like,
I think that's what they're going for though, right?
Right. Kind of.
Oh yeah, well that's just like a critique though, I guess.
Yeah. But that's like, I understand the artistic direction with it. It's just it didn't really do it that much for me.
I can see that.
Yeah, like where you, like you're saying, it's just a difference of opinion. Like Jordan said, it's kind of the direction they're trying to go in with the whole, like most of the transitions between songs on the album. I don't know about most. I know some you can hear radio static. Like,
at least half it sounds like a radio is like tuning.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I really like that intro a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the intro and then the end of the album. It like this the start of the album is someone walking across a gravel road, getting in a car, starting it up. It sounds like an old muscle car, and then the end of it, you hear them like gun it like down a highway or something, and then if you look at the album cover, you're like, oh, that's probably the car on the front.
Yeah,
it looks like an old Challenger, maybe.
It was an old Plymouth Roadrunner. When he was posting like all kinds of stuff on Instagram, he posted a picture of them like miking up the engine and stuff because they mic'd up the engine to record that intro sound. Interesting.
And that part's cool. Yeah. So then it is. I mean, it's like the album is set up like someone like some desperado driving.
I was gonna say a good parallel to this is Fetty Wap came out with an album in 2018 that no one's ever listened to. I listened to it maybe once and then stopped listening to it. But at the very beginning, he came out with his hits in like 15 or 16. I can't remember which one it was, but it's like at the very beginning. It's like tuning, and it's like tuning different radio stations, but like it's all of the like his hit songs. It's like I ain't never let, and then like it like goes to a different one, and then like he changed it one last time, and then it starts playing this other beat, and then that beat goes directly into the first song, which that's like it's like honestly the best part of the album. I feel like honestly.
That's kind of cool.
It's okay. No, yeah, it's a really cool thing, and that's why I like this one a lot. I really like the radio. I don't know. I really like intros. I sometimes don't want to be like. I want them to be intro songs. Like,
right.
they're not supposed to be songs. They're supposed to... Like, there's a lot of good albums that have intro songs that are just songs that are the intro, you know? But I like when they do something different. Like The Incredible... I think The Incredible True Story, it's like Logic's album or something.
Yeah.
The Incredible True Story. I don't know. Is it called The Incredible True Story?
Mm-hmm. It's the one with him and he looks like he's in a spaceship on the front of it.
Yeah, it's like he has an intro to that song. It's like, have you ever heard that song? It's called like Contact, I think.
I have a while back. I can't remember anything about it off the top of my head, but
at the very beginning, it's just like dialogue. It's like, oh hey man, we're going pretty close to that asteroid. It's like, oh yeah, we're just gonna. But anyway, I was gonna say I like how this is like an intro song, and not like a it's still a song. It still feels like a good like piece of music, but I like how there's a little bit of an intro like an actual intro aspect thrown into it.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry if that was a really long explanation for that, but
yeah, like you enjoy the fact that it's some sort of non-musical monologue to the actual music of the album.
Yeah,
yeah, I got you.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, it definitely adds to a small amount of world building. I don't think there's any world for like produced by this album after this album. I don't think Sturgill really has any plans to revisit the sound of this album. Maybe he does. I don't know, but he seems like he likes to switch up his sound a whole lot.
That's true. He's definitely one of the guys that where album to album, they're like, it's clear that like, okay, this is the mood he was in when he made this record, and this is what he wanted to do with this record, which is cool. I appreciate that kind of stuff, because then it's like, it makes you harder to like genre define.
Yeah,
but it means that you're like exploring different facets of the musical spectrum. So then, I mean, honestly, it probably will keep you interested longer in making music.
I found out from the Genius notes on Sing Along, the like notes that go along with the song on Spotify, that Sturgill said before this album he had thought about leaving music altogether just because of the business side of everything. He was just getting fed up with it, even though with his last album, the album before Sound and Fury, he won the Grammy for like best country album of the year. Like he was critically acclaimed by all those people, and he was building like a dedicated fan base, but he was getting so tired of dealing with the business side of music that he thought about just like quitting.
Interesting.
Yeah,
that's kind of sad. But
and because of that, some of the lyrics on some of the songs on this album come from a pretty dark place, and 2 or 3 of the songs are almost directly about like labels manipulating their artists and just like shitty business practices within the industry, but
of which there is plenty in the music business.
Yes,
true.
But
unfortunately,
yeah.
I mean, I guess most business, but
yeah. But
so then, I guess do you want to throw out some like specific stuff about the album then?
Of course. I know.
Transition into that one a little bit.
I know before listening to it again, Jamie, you used to say your favorite song was Ronin off of it, and I don't think you'd listened to the whole album by then. But how do you feel now? Is it still your favorite song? I'm curious.
Yeah, it's still up there. I just really like the guitar in it, especially like around the 2:45 mark. It's basically, so it sets up. There's like, he starts the car.
Does that bring you back? The beer taste now.
Ladies and gentlemen, there it is. An overwhelming body of evidence that supports a conspiracy where the globe.
The problem with
this country well now is consumption. We consume too much.
And then it's just a guitar the entire time. There's no lyrics or anything.
Yeah.
But it's like an extended solo kind of thing, I guess. But around the 2:45, it's just really good. I don't know. It's really good guitar playing. Very interesting the entire time. It's cool. It has really good like building of dynamics, and then around like the 2:45, 2:50, somewhere around there, it like really kicks off. I like that. I think I also really like Make Art Not Friends.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite songs.
It feels very Tame Impala.
Yeah, I
like,
can see that.
Super, especially when it starts to get into the there's like a bunch of repeated synth at the beginning that feels kind of like Currency, and the transition into the main beat in that song is really good. I really like that.
The synth like kind of slowing down and everything quieting down, and then it ramps up to the really like tinny high pitched synth, and the guitar comes in.
And it all feels so Tame Impala, like so. But yeah, and that song's good. I also like Fastest Horse in Town.
Yeah.
That one I just love how like just absolutely filthy the guitar is at the beginning of it. It starts off just like. So thick on the palate with distortion and fuzz. It's just so good.
That's one.
And it's a very chaotic song too.
Yeah. Every time I played that song,
I like the
on the like vinyl out of my speakers, I would crank it up like 5 or 6 times just because I love that song. Like I almost, even though my speakers produce a more dynamic range of sound, like you can hear the layers of instruments better coming out of the speakers than you can coming out of like AirPods. I almost, one part of me enjoys hearing it more out of the speakers, but another part of me enjoys hearing it out of my AirPods more, because if I hear it in my AirPods, it's like the only thing I can hear. It's like
right.
It's like it just surrounds you more in that sense.
Yeah, it's like you're being enveloped.
Yeah,
it's like how that's the best way to listen to Gemini.
Yeah, next way you need some Audio Technicas.
Mm-hmm. Need to get some crazy over your noise canceling stuff.
So those are probably like my 3 favorites on the album. I still like Running a lot though. It's really cool. Yeah.
I personally liked A Good Look and Mercury in Retrograde, which I feel like are more 2 of the like little kind of like funkier influenced ones.
Okay.
Where it didn't seem as washed out per se, like with the guitar and stuff, but it seemed a little more like a little more upbeat, high energy type stuff.
Yeah, there's just there's so much attitude and so much of his songs and so many of his lyrics. Like he has so many great one-liners or 1 or 2-liners, and that's one reason why I've always liked him so much. And those are present in Mercury in Retrograde and A Good Look. Because A Good Look is about artists obsessing over their image rather than their actual songwriting, and them like struggling with or at least that's my perception of it, like perception of the lyrics, like them struggling.
That's what I got from it too.
Yeah. Like, what does he say? Like, are you talking all this shit just to get on the cover? How are you gonna eat when you're biting the hand?
Why are you getting pills? 'Cause you're getting discovered. Are you talking all shit just to get on the cover? Well, how you gonna eat when you're biting the hand? Well, you know they don't like it when you take a stand.
Like, yeah, I don't have it pulled up right now, but it's mostly about him kind of preaching to people who make music, saying, like, you should focus on the stuff you're trying to make rather than superficially looking good, because that's not going to get you anywhere. Like, you're going to build, people are going to enjoy your music based off of your creativity, not this image that you create. That's a bit of a debatable topic, because I mean, some, like, I don't know, maybe an example of a musician that has an image that draws people in would be like, I don't know,
Dixie D'Amelio.
Wait. What? TikTok?
Bro, she made a song, bro. She made a song. I'm just kidding. Childish Gambino?
Yeah, I was going to say, just because he wraps a lot of his stuff up in mystery all the time, and, like, doesn't really... He doesn't seem to announce his things before, like, a week before they come out. And then...
That is true.
Like, he just... Him and Kendrick both have, like, they have appeal because they're mysterious, but they also have appeal because they make a lot of, like, good points about society in their music.
Oh yeah, totally. No, but yeah, A Good Look just sounded a lot better and was easier for me to bump my head to, because it was a little more on beat also. Like, yeah,
that was one of my notes with it. It's really hard to not just, like, sit there and just kind of groove to it.
Yeah, because and it goes back and forth with the good and bad of, like, the synths. Like, the synths are very drawn out, so it's hard to, like, you know, like, keep a beat to it sometimes, when it's just like, you know.
Yeah.
So that's why that's just why I like the good. Again, I listen to it sometimes while I'm just doing stuff, and, you know, like, some of the songs I just keep finding myself, you know, like, bobbing my head to a little bit. And I think those were two that I just really liked a lot.
Yeah.
Nick, did you already say yours that you liked the songs?
My favorites are probably, I really like Ronin as an intro. Make Art Not Friends has always been one of my favorites. Best Clockmaker on Mars. I really like the guitar riff in that song. It just really stands out. And because of that, I like the whole song. Mercury in Retrograde has always been one of my favorites, and revisiting the album, but even before this week, just listening to it more, I guess, like the second half of this year rather than last year whenever it came out, I've really grown to like Fastest Horse in Town. It's probably one of my favorites on the album now too.
Yeah, that was one of the ones that revisiting it, I was like, why didn't I remember really liking this song? Because, like, I'd listened to the album all the way through multiple times. But I was just, like, the first one listening back, I was like, oh, how did I forget about this song?
That one was a little too long and a little too
it's like 7
distorted
minutes
for me.
I guess
it just seemed kind of like the same sound for most of it. And I know probably once I listened to it a lot of times, I could find, like, nuances and stuff, but for just a couple listens. I mean, the guitar is very present. So if that's
Right.
what you like a lot, that's what you're gonna get. But as someone who doesn't, not super big fan of songs like that, it was a little off-putting. Mm-hmm. But I could definitely see how you guys liked it a lot, though.
Yeah, it was a song that I think I've said this like the last 3 podcasts or something. It's a song that I've really enjoyed, but never looked at the lyrics because I just love the feeling of the music so much. Just the enveloping, surrounding nature of the song is one reason that I like it so much. I think I put in my notes that it's a song that I like just want to like floor my car when I'm listening to it. Like it's got so much power behind it, but I can't do that because I'm sure that my car would fall apart if I put any sort of stress on it.
Yeah, your car creaks.
It doesn't creak as much now, but it still does creak some.
No, I could definitely see. It definitely seems like a song that would be good, like played outside or the radio played out of Michael's theater speakers. Oh my gosh, awesome. Yes. Dude, that would have been so much bass and like distortion and everything.
Yeah, I think my favorite. Wait, what?
I was gonna say what the hook of the song, like the chorus, is everybody's trying to be the next someone. Look at me, I'm trying to be the first something. He's trying to set himself apart from the rest of the scene, I guess. Like he's trying to be his own original artist rather than pander to like the rest of his genre, like whatever he gets marketed as. And
yeah, right. I got you.
Yeah, I've always
sounds a little like Donald Glover.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, but does that happen a lot in like the country music community? I didn't think there'd be a bunch of like. I mean, maybe it happens in every community.
No, I mean, not a lot. Like Taylor Swift transitioned from country to pop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
That was kind of a big one.
Sturgill's never been like really. He's always had a bit of a feud with like the CMAs, like the Country Music Awards. Like he has a song on his debut album called "Life Ain't Fair and the World Is Mean." And in it, he says something about, like, you won't see me at the CMAs. I can't remember the exact line. But when he came out with his album before this one, A Sailor's Guide to Earth, that was the one that he won the Grammy for Best Country Album. I think the CMAs were airing after the Grammys. So, like, he had already won a Grammy, like, across, like, all country music for Best Country Album. And the CMAs didn't invite him to the ceremony and like didn't nominate him for anything. And he attended them in quotes by like he went to the stadium in Nashville where the CMAs were being held and busked outside of it. Like he just played guitar outside of it, like a street performer.
That's really funny.
And he like sang some of the songs and stuff, and people would like come up and talk to him and take pictures with him. And he gave like a little speech where he was advocating things that he wished like the CMAs would give people a chance to make a stand on. Like I have a few excerpts here. He says like I couldn't find an actual video of his speech, but Time reported that he said, "Nobody needs a machine gun," coming from a guy who owns quite a few guns. He also said, "Gay people should have the right to be happy and live their life any way they want to and get married if they want to, without fearing getting drugged down the road on a pickup truck. Black people are probably tired of getting shot in the streets and getting enslaved by the industrial prison complex. And hegemony and racism is alive and well in Nashville, Tennessee. Thank you very much.
Interesting.
What a mic drop.
Yeah. So I've always enjoyed and been inspired by him as a person, and like the spirit that he has like behind his music.
I would say very progressive country music artists.
Yeah.
Interesting. You don't see that all the time.
He's definitely on brand with like the outlaw country of today.
That is true. That makes him kind of even cooler.
Mm-hmm.
Like
him and
like
Tyler
usually the
Childers.
country people. Oh wait, sorry. Go.
I was just gonna say him and Tyler Childers, and I know they're kind of on brand with Margot Price and like Jason Isbell to a degree.
Yeah.
They're all in it.
Isabel's. They're all fierce advocates for the marginalized in society.
Yeah, in a genre that doesn't typically like to broadcast those things because they know that their audience might not necessarily think those things. But they all take a stand. It's admirable.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was saying. Like, I was gonna say, like they're usually like the bad boys. Like whenever they sing, like they're like, yeah, I don't give a damn about nothing or no. But then to be like an outlaw of the outlaws is like
mega outlaw.
It's like mega outlaw.
Insane.
To be an outlaw, to go against something that already goes against other stuff is like, I don't know. It's just.
Is it like a double negative?
Outlaw square.
Yeah, it's like cool.
You go with someone.
It's like cool to me because that's like hard to do, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's I'm here for it.
Mm-hmm.
I think back on this album though, I think my favorite line on the album is it's in Sing Along. It's compromise is made out of peace, but history is made out of violence.
Just dancing in the sun. Please don't turn around and leave. You are my only one. Compromise is made out of peace, but history's made out of violence. After the war of wars has ceased, all that's left is the deafening silence. I can't go on.
That honestly kind of fits into, I guess, the gist of his tail end of the speech, but it's like
compromise is made out of peace, and
but history's made out of violence. Yeah, bars, dude, bars.
I have that written down too, and the lines right after that are, "After the war of the worlds has ceased, all that's left is the deafening silence."
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
You might explain it to me. I'm having a hard time. Dude, I know I sound stupid as hell right now.
No.
English
You're
class.
good. So it's like the I guess book ending lyrics of that are, "Please don't turn around and leave. You're my only one. Compromise is made out of peace, but history is made out of violence. After the war of the words has ceased, all that's left is deafening silence." So it's kind of like, if you meet, I think the gist of it is about a tumultuous relationship, because he's singing, don't leave me, whatever problem. So it's like, compromise is something that occurs when the two parties in whatever situation have agreed on some sort of like peaceful connection.
Yeah. No, yeah. I think I know all the words. I'm just having trouble to like.
But then it's like, if you look at what makes a storied past, it's always conflict is what stands out as something notable.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think that it's kind of more interesting to think about that if you
Okay,
extrapolate it out from just like a intimate relationship and look at it more of like just a broad idea of conjoining parties, whether it be like, two people or two governments or whatever. It's just interesting to think about the fact that like you mainly hear about You're just pointing out that you mainly hear in the like history, like the violent stuff.
Yeah, like you remember the wars more than you remember the treaties, you know?
Yeah, you're right. Okay. Sorry that took me so long to get. I was
No,
like,
you're good.
It was easier for Jamie and I to understand because we both coincidentally noted that line, and I'm sure we both thought about it before the podcast.
Right.
I didn't know that.
I think honestly that's like the main one I wrote down.
Yeah, I didn't know that Best Clockmaker on Mars. Have either of you seen Watchmen, the movie, or read the graphic novel?
Watchmen, is that with who's that with again?
It's the big blue guy, Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, the big blue guy.
I don't know if he's big.
Rorschach.
No, never mind.
Okay.
I was thinking of some like I forget who, but I think it's like Ben Stiller and like Vince Vaughn or something. I don't know.
I don't know, but it's not that. It's
Night at the
not
Museum?
Watchmen.
Never mind,
Vince Vaughn
bro.
is
No,
not
it's like
is he? No,
it's
he's
like it's like they're part of like a neighborhood watch.
I think it's called. Okay, now I know what you're talking about.
That movie's called The Watch, I think.
Yeah, that's called The Watch. It's different. Yeah.
And what's that? What's
Watchmen
the
is
other
a
movie
comic.
Watchmen is like
it was
a
a graphic
Oh,
novel.
okay.
Yeah.
It's like an anti-hero comic book kind of thing or something.
Very different.
Whoops, never mind.
A little different.
Okay, my bad. Continue with what you were going to say.
But there's a guy in Watchmen. His name's Dr. Manhattan, and he has almost omnipotent superpowers that came from some like weird accident. And I didn't know. I've seen the movie and I've read part of the graphic novel, but I didn't know enough about it to correlate it to this song. But apparently, the title and like the chorus are in reference to Dr. Manhattan, like Best Clockmaker.
He goes to Mars at the end or something, right?
He's on Mars. I know at the beginning. The beginning isn't exactly like chronological within the story of the graphic novel, but he gets like fed up with humanity, and he just wants to go and like on a sabbatical basically and like think to himself. And he was a clockmaker before he became Dr. Manhattan, I think. So he goes to Mars to like build some big clock and just think and like be away from people. And he's able to like live on Mars because of his new powers and like weird omnipotent state. So, but so the song is in reference to him. Like he's the verses are like, I want to grow old and die with you. I want to make babies till you say you're through. What is it?
Bars, bro.
Go to bed and wake up when you tell me to. Turn off all the TVs, there ain't nothing new. And then the chorus is, want to wake up every day and be the best clockmaker on Mars. Like, he just wants to spend time, like, with his family. Because he's fed up with the world, basically. And I really like the second verse. He says, some days I hate everything I am, but your love holds a mirror to me. Shows me a love I can understand and make sense of the world I see. It's a little introspective. And, like, full of gratitude for his wife. I had no idea he was talking about Watchmen. It was meta.
Yeah, I totally have. I've seen a couple episodes of the HBO show.
Oh yeah,
and I've been at a very far distance aware of the movie and comic book, but I haven't watched or read either. But that's neat. That's a deep, because like you get a lot of those meanings of the song without knowing anything about Watchmen. So that's kind of cool that like. I always like stuff like that where if you're in like the in group, like then it's like another level of another deeper level.
Yeah.
And I don't know, this is not that important, but I really like the titles of the songs in this. Like Mercury in Retrograde just sounds cool. Best Clockmaker on Mars. Again, that probably has that you said that has a reference to something anyway, but I just like when they're kind of out there, like Fastest Horse in Town. They're all like non sequitur kind of, but like
they definitely don't really give you much of what is going to go on.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's like
as opposed to like
on
Damn, on that Kendrick album, the songs are all emotions like love, loyalty, humble. Like
right, they're all the emotions covered in said songs.
Yeah. I got you.
Humble's kind of like an
I think-
ironic name, but
Yeah. I think that's all I had written down for this album.
Sit down.
I guess.
Be humble.
Yeah, I don't have
all
anything.
I had in the old.
I don't have anything especially in depth, like besides that.
Okay.
Do you have any more else to say though?
I don't think so.
You have any final thoughts you want to leave us with?
We
before
really talked
rate
about
it?
most of my favorite songs. I think probably, I don't know if it's my most favorite, or a song I've consistently liked a lot every time I've listened to this album is "Make Art Not Friends," and it's like 6 minutes long? Yeah, right around.
Yeah,
5
I
minutes
figured
and
it'd be
50
your
seconds.
favorite
Yeah,
because it's very like Tame Impala-y.
Yeah,
just based purely on that. I was like, I bet this is Nick's favorite.
I showed it to I don't know, should I say their names? I don't think it's doxing to say people's names, is it?
I don't think
like
so.
first names?
No.
Okay.
No, you say their
I
first
I
names.
don't. I don't think.
Okay, you can edit around this. I'm sorry. I showed it to William and Sarah like around the time the album came out, because it was when me and William were living in Wolf Ridge, and I forgot that it had like a 1:50 like synth intro, and it kept playing, and they were like,
Which I'm sure Sarah and William loved it.
yeah, they were like, okay, so when is he gonna sing? And I was like, I honestly forgot that this intro was here because I just loved the entire song so much. Like every time it comes
out
on,
of our friends, that's honestly like the two least likely people to enjoy it. I think
like I just
What
like.
about me?
What'd you say?
that's funny though.
I said, what about me? Am I even less likely to enjoy that?
Yeah, because Sarah hates synth.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like absolutely hates it,
Mhm.
and I don't know.
And it's not really up Williams, like
Right, that's not the Williams
metal genre.
Metal.
What is
taste,
Will?
right?
Yeah.
Wait, Willie listens to metal.
Yeah, he's a metal guy through and
I didn't know
through.
that. I could maybe
all
see that.
shit.
I can maybe see that afterwards.
Yeah, he's all over it.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
But yeah.
So then, do we want to get into the? Oh,
I've never. I enjoy a fair amount of instrumental music, and maybe that's why I don't mind extended instrumental intros. I don't know if it was that, or it's definitely a combination of that and me just loving the feeling of the song so much that I just like it doesn't.
you can
I don't
forget
mind
a lot.
Yeah, I don't mind that there's 2 minutes of no singing. Like it just sounds so cool.
Right.
No, I got you.
Yeah. He
I got you.
Sturgill in an Instagram post that he's now deleted. He I think he was talking about the album as a whole, but in the video was of them recording Make Art Not Friends, and he was talking about how many dark lyrics he wrote for the album, and how he tried to lighten it up in the end, even though like Make Art Not Friends is still, it's probably like the darkest lyrical song on the album, just like most pessimistic in a way. Like he said he wrote a lot more pessimistic, like negative outlook things, and he realized that wasn't like really the feeling he wanted to put out into the world. I think like even though he was fed up with the industry, he wanted to make music that people would enjoy. Like he wanted to make music that people could enjoy and have a good time to. And maybe there's like one or two songs on the album that aren't songs that have positive lyrical content, but the overall feeling of the album makes you it doesn't make you just sad. It makes you want to move a little bit. It makes you energetic with all the like thunderous bass drum rhythms and the crazy guitar that goes on.
Yeah. I got you.
That's about it.
Nice. Well then, I guess so. If you want to go ahead and rate it, and then Jordan, you give yours, and I'll say mine since I'm going to be announcing next week's episode.
Yep. I'll give it an 8. It's a good one.
Okay.
Wait. Sorry, what order are we going in?
Europe.
Okay, that's what I thought. I got really confused and really concerned for like half a second. I'll give this a 5.
Nice. 5. Okay. And I'll give it a 6.5. I like a lot of the instrumentation, and the lyrics are pretty good. It's just it was really hard. Some songs it's just a lot of work for me to get through those like weird vocal methods, which is a nature of that artistic direction. But that brings us to an average of 6.5 as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Where does that put it overall? Let me see. That puts it somewhere in the middle. There's a lot of I'm really surprised with how much is tied. Like there's so many tied albums.
Yeah.
But it's between White Bronco which is at a 6.67 and Yes Lord, which is at 6.33.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
So then, yeah, I guess I can go ahead and announce next week's episode. This was the first week where I was in a bit of a pickle. I couldn't decide what I didn't have any burning albums to do for honestly until Sunday. But eventually I settled on one. We're going to be doing How to Be a Human Being by the Glass Animals.
Okay.
So we're still going to stick a little psyche, a little indie-y. I don't know what the actual genre for this is.
I thought we might be doing Zaba since you recommended it to us a day or two ago.
See, I thought about it, but I think that one's a little... I feel like we got to do this album first because it's more approachable for Jordan.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Zaba's pretty far.
Oh, you guys are giving me...
Zaba's jumping in the deep end.
You guys are tailoring your music choices directly based on how much I like it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, we gotta warm you up to it. We don't want to start you with Zaba. There's jungle sounds in it, and it's good though.
I listen to so many ad libs.
But it's not an ad lib. It's dude, I don't know.
Different sounds and
album,
stuff though.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna do How to Be a Human Being. I feel like it's the more approachable of their albums. They just came out with Dreamland, and Dreamland's good, but I like more of this album.
I like Dreamland. That's the one with Denzel Curry on it.
They put Tokyo Drifting on it. Yeah, that was a single, and then they added
Tokyo Drifting. Oh, baby, let you know.
So then I guess how brief? All right, so I guess we'll keep this relatively short. I've been listening to still a lot of Peach Pit, a lot of Glass Animals. I've been going through their entire catalog, and then also weirdly enough, Wish You Were Here, the album. I've listened to that 4 or 5 times.
The Pink Floyd album?
Who makes that?
Yeah, the Pink Floyd album. It's really good. It's Have a Cigar's on it, Wish You Were Here. Parts 1 through 12 or whatever of Shine On You Crazy Diamond. It's really good. Welcome to the Machine, I think. It's been a good time.
I've pretty much just been listening to the same thing as always. There's nothing new, honestly.
Gotcha.
Just my rap. Pop Smoke, Blueface, a little bit of this and that.
I got you.
A little bit of mana and
a little bit coming on.
You clipped out. I think your mic filtered you out, Jordan.
It probably does. I wish it didn't. My mic's good enough now where it filters it out, and I don't want it to filter out the.
We have the same mic. I wonder if mine does the same thing.
Try it. Just put your lips on the mesh or whatever it is and just yell as loud as you can. No? Okay. Nick, what have you been listening to? Did you already say?
I've been listening to... I listened to Tim Heidecker's album again today. I like it a lot. Fear of Death. Some Wise Blood. Some Vince Staples. Some Aphex Twin, since we saw that weird album at the record store. I've been getting into more electronic music because of the synth from this album, because we found that Aphex Twin album basically. What'd you say?
Here you go. Glass Animals right here for you then.
Yeah. And I've been listening to K Tronada a lot this past week. He's a fantastic producer. Like, just with it's almost like house rap, but like the just the bass sounds that he picks, or I don't know if it's how his music is mixed. The bass just hits so heavy out of like whatever speakers you're listening to. It's so impressive.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Sometimes if the mixing's done really well, then that's definitely the case. Like the more bass you have, the more you can
if we
suck out of it. Like a Go-Gurt.
Yeah. If we ride to get pizza after this, I can
Give me the
demonstrate. Bass. Suck some bass out.
I got you.
All right. Well, yeah. So I guess then we can go ahead and we'll take her home then. We just wanted to say thanks again for listening this week, and remember to tune in next week where we're going to be taking a look at How to Be a Human Being by Glass Animals. Be sure to give it a listen so you can kind of have your own thoughts and I guess mentally join in the discussion. Feel free to either leave a comment about your thoughts on this week's album on YouTube, or you can also tweet them at us. We're on Twitter at ListenUpPod. And that account, as well as our personal handles, are going to be in the description of wherever you found this podcast. For now, we'll catch you next week, and remember to listen up.